Do you remember the TV program Stars in Their Eyes, where Matthew Kelly would introduce guests who pretend to be somebody they were not by impersonating a famous singer? Well, I had a dream recently. I was on that program. It was absolutely amazing until I realized I can't sing. So Matthew, I'll tell you who I'm not going to be tonight. I'm not going to be gay. Madam Contest Chair, Toastmasters, and guests. Now, you might be thinking, Jim, you can't say that. It's not politically correct. But you see, when I was growing up, gay meant to be happy and carefree. Someone who was gay in those days was called a poof. In fact, people would say, he's a poof, rather like, he's a paedophile. And there wasn't much distinction in most people's eyes. I was working in an exclusive department store when John, a very good friend of mine, came to me and said, Jim, I have something to tell you. And I don't know really how to put this. But I'm gay. Gay? He couldn't be gay. I knew the gays. They worked in display. He was normal. Do you have a problem with that, Jim? No. It's okay. I don't like guys with moustaches. I was keeping my moustache. But you know, I found myself not wanting to walk down the street with John in case someone thought I was gay. Fast forward 25 years and of course attitudes had changed. Or had they? Had you been in the Argyll pub in Loch Gilphead, a small Scottish community, you'd heard Bill tell the whole pub that his brother was gay. I walked into the flat last night and there was my brother kissing another guy. I knew he was gay. It was disgusting. I don't know what I'm going to do. I think I have to move out. See, Matthew, the other guy in that flat was me. At first, I told no one. Bill had taken care of that. But they told me. As I walked down the street, kids would walk behind me saying, up your bum. A customer came into my petrol station, picked up a girly magazine, and then looking at me directly in the eye said, well, it's better than being gay. A member of my staff quit. And as she reached the door, she turned around and she said, you disgust me, while others talked behind my back. I had to tell my wife. I had to tell my wife just after Christmas. I had to tell my wife what I hadn't told myself my whole life, that I was gay. For 10 years, I tried to ignore it. The only problem was the genie was out the lamp and didn't want to go back in. I needed help. And I found help from Mary, a counselor, who took me through a 3-step process, which when looking back is something that we can all benefit from as we meet life's trials, tribulations, and challenges. 1, be honest with yourself. 2, decide what you really want. And 3, start straight away. In my case, maybe not quite so straight. See, when John came out, I thought, so he's out, one-time event, no big deal. But it is a big deal. Every time I tell somebody, I fear what they're going to think. I fear what they're going to say. I fear how they might react. I'm telling you here today, but it's not just you. It's individuals, such as you, Moira, because I care about what you think. Such as you, Pat, because I care about what you think. Such as you, Luann. Well, maybe not you, Luann. But you see, it still wasn't working, and here's why. Do you ever find intellectually you get something, but your actions tell you differently? Imagine you're on a diet, and I offer you a piece of cake. Intellectually, you know you shouldn't have that piece of cake, but you take it anyway. Or ladies, what about those shoes that are on sale? Just begging at you to buy them. But you're on a tight budget. but they're such a good price. So you buy them. After all, look at how much you saved. But what if your denial is alcohol or gambling or worse than that? So often we blame others when it is too painful for us to accept responsibility. I had been blaming society for not accepting me for who I was, for thinking that I was gay, yet society had changed, and now I needed to change. So if you blame me for offering you a piece of cake, and you take the cake, then you're not accepting responsibility. If you blame the great price on shoes, and you buy the shoes, you're not accepting responsibility. When I finally accepted responsibility, my life changed. And I was able to create a new life for myself, one full of love, joy, and happiness for everyone concerned. Last summer, my wife remarried and has a loving husband. Last summer, I remarried and have a loving husband. Last summer is the second anniversary of me implementing Mary's 3-step process. For 20 years, I have blamed others. When we blame others, nothing changes. When we accept responsibility, everything changes. Do you know someone who's not being honest with themselves? Because Matthew, tonight, I'm going to be me. Madam Contessier.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.